Final block of the show, and we are spending it with Rotowire senior golf writer Len Hochberg. Woo! We are price checking golfers for the Houston Open. So Sam Burns has been on fire lately and in turn has the highest salary on the board. Wow. But right under him, you have 6 other golfers over 10K, including Scotty Scheffler, Tony Finau. So would you rather pay up for one of those names instead of Burns?
Well, Jessie, Emerson, good to be with you as always. And I heard at the very top of the show, I was the first name mentioned. I thought for a minute I was the only one on the show today, but no, there was a whole show anyway. So get a shout out right at the top of the show. But
of course.
Question about Sam Burns. Let's rewind to 1 year ago Sunday at the Houston Open. Sam Burns entered the final round with the lead, playing in the final pairing with Carlos Ortiz. Burns shot 72. Ortiz shot 65 and won the tournament. It was heartbreak for Burns. He had not yet won on the tour. We saw that same thing play out similarly at Riviera a few months later. He led for most of the way and couldn't close the deal. Since then, he's learned how to be a closer. In the 1 year since the last Houston Open, we've seen Sam Burns do what golfers do. They learn how to win. And now he is number 18 in the world and really top 10 if you're going by recently. He won the Sanderson Farms again just a few weeks ago. He obviously can play this course. There are some other guys in the 10,000s I like, but I do like Sam Burns this week. What a story it's been in the past year for him.
Yeah, and atop the FedEx Cup standings right now as well. You mentioned last year's champ, Carlos Ortiz. He's withdrawn due to a shoulder injury, and the guys who finished behind him, that was Dustin Johnson and Hideki Matsuyama, they're not playing this year, Len. That means the highest placing player from last year's tournament who is actually in the field this week, that's Taylor Gooch. He comes in at 9,300. He finished in 4th place in Houston last year. What do you think of his chances this week?
You know, Gooch is a little like Burns in that the last year has been his best year. He's a little older than Burns, not quite as young. He's 29 now, I think, Gooch. But yeah, he finished 4th here last year, and now that brought him into the top 100 in the world for the first time. He's been there ever since. He's now on the edge of cracking the top 50. He's 51st. He desperately wants to get into the top 50 in the world by year's end to automatically get into the Masters. Well, he's doing a great job. He's been lights on fire, house on fire at the start of this season. 2 top 5s, nothing worse than a tie for 11th. He's really one of the top players in the fall swing. I do like him as well this week. He's shown he can play on this course.
All right, where are you finding value in this tournament, Len? What do you think?
Well, I have to start with the guy who I mentioned every week, Aaron Wise, $9,200. He's delivering every week in the fall swing. Hopefully everybody's been along for the ride. But some other guys of note, $8,700, Mark Leishman. Really, no one might have been affected more by the pandemic golf-wise than Mark Leishman. His game really fell off, but it's really starting to come back now. He already has 2 top 4s in the fall season alone. This is a course set par 70, $7,400 yards, really a long course. He could really boom his drives, but you also need to be a good scrambler, and he has a good wedge game when it's on. I like him a lot at 87. $8,200, Shane Lowry had him last week. I was very, very honored to be part of one of his 3 missed cuts all year, but I do like him again this week. $7,900, Mackenzie Hughes, not a long hitter, but a great short game. I think it's going to be important this week with a lot of false fronts. $7,100, Taylor Moore, the Korn Ferry graduate, and Keith Mitchell, $7,000, and 2 guys in the 6,000s. Now, want to point out there are 132 guys in this field. 65 and ties make the cut. More than half the field will make the cut. A lot of 6,000s will make it to the weekend. $6,700, Grayson Sigg, and all the way down at $6,200, I like to take a shot on Sung Kang.
All right, I know you're not a huge fan of like the fade question each week, but all right, so just give me someone you're going to maybe steer clear of, Len.
Well, yeah, it's always dicey, and it's certainly dicey to mention Brooks Koepka when this question because his ceiling is as high as anyone's on tour. But he has not been playing well. He's pretty high priced, $9,900. You know, we know the story that he was in on the course redesign a couple of years ago, and then last year was in the top 5. So he seemed to have a bit of an edge. But I'm going to shy away from him a little bit reluctantly. $9,600. Adam Scott was just a little bit surprised to see him that highly priced. And then Jason Kokrak is a guy getting a lot of buzz this week on Twitter at $8,800. They say he plays well in Texas, and I guess he does. But he really hasn't been playing well anywhere since he won the Charles Schwab in May, Memorial Day weekend. He's not had another top 10. He's not on my list this week.
Whoa.
All right, finally, who do you think will win the Houston Open, Len?
Well, as I said, it's a long course, par 70, 7,400 yards. Cameron Smith is not the first guy to come to mind on that type of track, but he has played well on those types of courses. He plays well at the Masters every year. He was great at Memphis a few months back. And you're also going to need a strong wedge game at this course and a good putter. And you combine his wedge and his putter, and he is among the best on tour. He played well at the end of the fall. He's only played once at the end of the season. He's played only once in the fall, tied for 9th at the CJ Cup. 10,200, a little bit pricier than I was hoping to see him because I really like him a lot, but I like Cameron Smith this week.